You are now listening to WSN Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now in Odyssey Station.
In the city of dreams, three friends.
I just took the pies out of it. I took the pies out of it.
In college, what made Johnny Manziel so electrifying, how he got those big plays, was he would snap the ball, wait for the play to break down, and then make the play.
Where you get to meet some of West Georgia's greatest stars.
Maybe this can be a debate for another day, but I'm a big Jordan guy.
Good.
I don't know if those are fighting words or not. But.
Feeling good. It's just an honor to be here. Anytime you get to share the platform with the GOAT, Cole Fisher, it means you might be an athlete.
And don't forget, triple play.
We all had three separate lists.
Love to hear it.
I am going to go with Georgia State versus Baylor and my number one.
So grab a drink
And some popcorn. And get ready to enjoy the show.
This is Triple Threat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the debut episode of Triple Threat. We are a podcast no more. We are live. Boys, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling fan-flippin-tastic right now.
Let's go.
I am in awe. What a special opportunity this is. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get the cat out of the bag right now. Not only is this our debut episode, but today is our host, Jackson Schrader's 20th birthday. Come on, give a round of applause for our boy.
Oh, thank you.
Happy
I'm an
birthday,
old
buddy.
man now. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
The back pain is coming.
Trust me, it comes sooner or later. But yeah, we're here. We're live. It's a beautiful day in the city of dreams, and really, everything's great. So, Schrader, how you feeling right now?
Dude, I'm feeling great. I can't believe that last semester we were podcast of the year. And now we're a live show. Isn't this amazing?
I mean, I had high hopes, but I never even thought about this. I never knew. I never knew we were gonna get here, and I'm so glad to be here. This is such a special opportunity. We're live. I can't edit this now.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm saying, you're hearing. So hello. I'm not cutting it out. I'm not taking the best parts. I'm not taking our flukes. We're here. This is the best version. This is the most natural version of us. I'm happy to be here. Now, I think Schrader wants to show a little piece of paper real quick.
Yes, I do. So this right here, I don't know, there's the camera. This is the first time we ever wrote down Triple Threat. And no, this is not a preschooler's handwriting. A preschooler's handwriting. It is our very own John Howley's handwriting. So, yeah, it's great to see the growth of this show in literally a semester.
We need to get that paper framed.
We do.
Sorry, the handwriting is not the greatest, but hey, that's where it goes. It starts here at Wolf Sports Network, and I'm telling you, it's a magical place.
It is.
I remember sitting in that editing suite. It was me and you, John. We were thinking of the logo. We were sweating. We had the name at that point.
Yep.
But we were like, what's gonna be our logo? And we were trying to play with the 3, and you can see the numeral 3 right there is what we were kind of trying to play with, kind of like pillars. I wish we had a closer up camera shot for everybody to see, but basically, that's where it started. And now you got our 3 J's, Jason, John, Jackson, never forget. It's beautiful. What a wonderful sight to see.
All right. So, with that said, with that introduction, how about we talk about some West Georgia Wolves?
And your Wolves are on the run.
All right. I'm going to kick it to you first, John. How are you feeling about the West Georgia Wolves taking on Eastern Kentucky this week in football?
I feel great about it because as I'm just going to jump back to week 1. They proved us wrong. Absolutely. Yep. Now, we obviously went off to Abilene Christian. It was a tough loss, but not the toughest. But now we're going to go, to Eastern Kentucky. Obviously, they have lost their first 2. Mississippi State, Western Kentucky got stomped out. Simple as that. Mm-hmm. And so the thing is that throws up in the air to me is our starting quarterback is Quincy Casey. He's a great starting quarterback, came from Alabama A&M, proven starter and everything because Davin, as of right now, I think is injured with a shoulder injury. So I think we saw great flashes of what he can do, and I think we just get things rolling with him and the rest of the offense. I think we can take it to Eastern Kentucky and make them 0-3 because that's just what I'm really feeling there. Because I know they want their first win, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yep.
Right. First of all, John, great stager. I mean, we're just rolling. I'm just throwing out all the props I can give. Because give credit where it's due. And speaking of giving credit where it's due, give credit to this West Georgia offense defense proving the haters wrong. Not a single one of us in this room, other than me, actually, I think I might have been the only one in this room or in this station that had West Georgia beating Samford. And was there bias involved in that?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe I
bit.
didn't really think we would actually win, but like John said, we proved it to ourselves. We proved it to the school. We proved it to the state. We proved it to Division I athletics that we deserve to be here. Now, something that Eastern Kentucky has struggled with is getting in the end zone. They have one touchdown on the season.
Yep.
They have one touchdown on the season, and I didn't watch the game, but that probably came in some garbage time. They lost 51-7 against Mississippi State, I believe, was their first game. Their in-state rival, Western Kentucky, they lost 31-0. West Georgia has not struggled to get in the end zone at all, even with Casey getting in that second half after Widener, who, props to him, also, balled out that first game. Good for him.
Sir.
Way to go. I'm loving this. But Casey threw for over 200 yards in a half of football, 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He was impressive. We're in good hands. I have us winning this game by at least 10.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. I have West Georgia winning this game very comfortably. I think there are some very important things to point out. While Eastern Kentucky has gotten absolutely murdered in their first 2 games, they were FBS opponents. Now, scoring 7 points in your first 2 games combined is not very good. They've been outscored 87-7. That's not a very good trend to be on the bad side of. However, Eastern Kentucky averages 36 minutes with the ball, and that's 3rd in the conference. However, the UWG defense is extremely efficient at getting teams off of the field. Against Abilene Christian, who is they're the best offense in this conference and one of the best in the FCS. Yeah. We were able to have 3 consecutive 3 and outs, and I'm pretty sure 7 overall in the game last week against Abilene Christian. So this defense is going to come ready to play. The only concern I have for West Georgia is how is the offense going to rally behind Quincy Casey and get the job done. Right. Now, I do need to add, we don't like Eastern Kentucky.
No, sir.
All my homies hate Eastern Kentucky, and here is why. So every year they play Western Kentucky in the first game of the season. It's a little rivalry. And Western Kentucky was at home, and their tradition for their home openers to do a whiteout. And Eastern Kentucky, because they're the away team, they have priority over having the white uniforms. So they prevented, for the first time in 10 years, they prevented the Hilltoppers from being able to do their whiteout. So I'm just saying, West Georgia, go win this one for Western Kentucky. Even though Western Kentucky absolutely obliterated Eastern Kentucky, we need to make sure Eastern Kentucky knows that that's a no-no.
Right. You got to prove it to him. Yeah, great point. This defense is legit. I'm looking forward to the game. It's going to be great.
It is.
It's time for triple play.
There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. A triple play.
All right, folks. If you listened to us when we were a podcast, then you know Triple Play is our signature segment, and we are more than thrilled. We are absolutely jazzed to bring it back for this semester. So, Jason, tell us what we're doing.
Oh, snap. Okay, so today we are doing college football upsets so far this season, okay? We have, what we have here is Notre Dame. Their loss against Northern Illinois. Okay, we have Florida State, Florida State losing against not Georgia Tech, but Boston College. And then we have our people. We got West Georgia and Samford.
Yes, sir. Are you putting the shine the light on me first?
Go get him, John.
All right, so here's my list. Number 1, I think it's going to be very biased with UWG and Samford. Number 2, I have Notre Dame and Northern Illinois. And number 3, I have FSU and Boston College.
All right. So, yeah. So, for me, I'm going to go number 3 up to number 1.
Okay.
So, my number 3 is Boston College, Florida State. The reason that it's number 3 is because, in my opinion, the Georgia Tech one was a bigger upset. See, that was before we knew that Florida State was not as talented on the field as we thought they were.
Yeah.
Sadly. And Boston College is a good team. Georgia Tech's a good team, but when we played Georgia Tech, we had that number 10 next to our name, and it meant we were number 10 in the nation. When we played Boston College, the only reason it was number 10 was because they don't do rankings after week 0.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why Boston College is number 3, and I'm going UWG Samford number 2. I know it's big. It was big for us. Probably the most excited I've been in a long time to watch one of my teams win. However, Northern Illinois Notre Dame, that doesn't happen often at all. A Group 5 school walking into a top 5 school and beating them, that happens every 10 years. That's
True.
not something that happens often. And the fact that Northern Illinois' coach walked up to Marcus Freeman and said, "You want me to tell you how we beat you?" Like, that's hilarious. And I just think this upset is one that we don't see often. We won't see for a long time. So I'm going to go number 1, Northern Illinois versus Notre Dame.
Awesome. So if you also paid attention to Triple Play, you also realized that we all 3 had separate lists a lot of the time. I would say I think there was only like one time where we all had the
It was
same
once.
list.
Yeah, it was with it was MLB and like the teams from.
Right,
yeah.
right. This time, it will not be that way. We will have a same list today. I have as well Notre Dame and Illinois as my number 1 biggest upset of the year. Y'all know I'm a kind of Notre Dame's like my second favorite college team.
I hear you.
I got Notre Dame through and through, so no bias. I was also called out last season for being biased. No bias here today. I will have West Georgia and Samford for number 2.
That's a loud bias.
That is not biased.
That's a loud bias.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we're allowed to do that.
All right. But I have them at number 2 for a lot of the same reasons that you had. I mean, that's never going to happen again, ever. Like, that's historic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of my number 1 and number 2, those are very historic wins. It's been told that was NIU's first win against a top 5 team ever.
Yeah.
I loved their coach at the end of the game crying.
Dude.
Dude, like, that game meant so much.
Mhm.
Just
So
means
much
more.
to their institution.
It just
So
means
much
more.
to that
Yeah.
their head coach. What's his name?
I can't remember.
I
his
don't
name.
I
know.
don't. But that's his alma mater too. Like,
Yeah.
that's even more special. I mean, that's so crazy to me. And it's also been told they got paid over $1 million to play that game, and they won it.
Shmoney.
They got their cake and ate it too.
Yeah.
I mean, good for them. But West Georgia, they went D1. They won their first game. We were almost 20-point underdogs, and we went out there, and again, we just proved that we're dogs.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we're wolves, but we proved we
Yeah.
dogs.
Go West, go Wolves.
Anyways, and then Florida State for a lot of the same reasons as
Yeah,
you said.
yeah.
Going against Boston College, they were not the same team that we thought they were going to be, and Georgia Tech proved it. So Boston College, while yes, it was surprising, and they were even a bigger underdog against Boston College than they were Georgia Tech. It could have been seen. Oh, it's also DJU played a worse game against Boston College than he did
Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah. So also, John,
Yes.
besides bias, why West Georgia Samford number 1?
Well, you think about it. We all know we're D1 now, and really, it's program history. First ever home football game. First off, we're playing home week 1.
Yeah.
And that's huge already. And yet we're thinking we're gonna lose. But then, look, we win 39-28. We play a great game. I mean, we started the game with a flea flicker, which shocked me like crazy. But you think about this, well, this is Coach Taylor's first win as a head coach. Probably takes a lot of pressure off him. Then also, not to mention, we were FCS Team of the Week, not just UAC Team of the Week.
Yeah.
You know, that FCS across the whole things where you have a team like North Dakota State, South Dakota State, I don't care, any of these FCS teams, and they pick us because it's our first ever D1 football win. Now, I would be a little crazy biased if I said, hey, let's go put us in the rankings.
Yeah.
But we're not doing that. But I really think it's just it's history, and not that Notre Dame and Northern Illinois is gosh darn history. But I just think for the program, it's a lot bigger to me. And I was down there on the field, taking photos and stuff, and just seeing it go in front of us and all that, and just the hype behind the team. And so I mean, yes, you can say it's bias. Shoot, I'll even say it myself. Yeah, lots of bias, but it's program history, and I love it.
It is, and that's important to point out. Like this Northern Illinois upsetting Notre Dame, that's like another page of Northern Illinois history. Because they have history. They played Florida State in the Orange Bowl. I guess it was over a decade ago, which I guess is longer than I remember it being. But they've been on the big stage before.
Right.
They've had good teams. This was the start of our history at Division I. Like this isn't just a new chapter. This is a new beginning, and that's huge. Like you said, it's historic.
Yeah.
To start, I mean, with the odds stacked against you, Samford.
Absolutely.
If there's a definition of established, Samford is that. They've been at this level for quite a while. They've succeeded at this level for quite a while. Yet they let them West Georgia Wolves walk all over them, baby. I mean, it was an amazing win. Amazing.
I think that flea flicker, like first play of the game,
exactly.
Like we proved it, and they proved it to me right there on that first play that we were here to play.
Yeah.
Like we weren't here to mess around. We weren't here to just try to run it down their throats. Like we knew we had to do something different, and we did it. Props to our coaching staff. Props to the players coming together. We had a whole bunch of transfers who didn't know each other 5 months ago come together, and they're going to Texas. They're going to Kentucky. They're here in Carrollton being like Carrollton stars.
I know.
I mean, Davin Widener, I mean, he's put his name all out there, man. Very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Davin played.
He played a really good game.
Everything, when you look at that West Georgia game, everything that could go right did go right. I mean, blocked field goal. We had a flea flicker. I mean, it was crazy. Davin played out of his
we even had a
mind.
Hail Mary.
Exactly. We had a Hail Mary. Like, if you look up, like, craziest plays in football, you get the list. It's going to show this Samford UWG game as, hey, if you want to see it, watch this game.
You know what's funny about that Hail Mary? The play before that, number 13, who caught the Hail Mary, was wide open.
Yeah.
Wide open.
Yeah.
But now I'll say the reason why I actually, just going back to it with Notre Dame and Northern Illinois, I mean, it's awesome, and I saw the statistic when it happened of Northern Illinois beating it, but really, you beat a top 5 team, and this team was supposed to be darn tootin' good, and you have Riley Leonard transferring from Duke, and but really also the money there, $1.4 million.
Yeah,
that is sad, and you're playing in Notre Dame Stadium. Like you go there, and it's just like, what just happened? Like as a coach, you're just kind of questioning yourself, like. What's happening there, and how do you bounce back from that, especially for a team that doesn't play a conference championship? And so it's just, I mean, I still think it's great, and I love seeing it happen. But really, it's been a long time for something like that to happen.
Yeah, and I think it's also important with the Notre Dame Northern Illinois game to really point out this is not like that Michigan App State game where App State walked into a number 3 Michigan. And they beat them, but that was before we knew that Michigan team. We had the week prior to this, we watched this Notre Dame team walk into a sold-out Kyle Field. That's over 100,000 people, and take down Texas A&M in a fist fight. And most teams do not make it out of there alive. That is an insanely difficult place to play, especially against a talented A&M team. So for Northern Illinois to just walk back in to South Bend and beat this team, it doesn't make sense. But that's why college football is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's why it's the best sport on the planet.
Anybody can win on any given Saturday.
Any given Saturday.
Goodness.
It is beautiful. So going to Florida State, me and you both had them at our number 3. We all know that. Oh, we all do.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. We all know Jackson is our Florida State fan on the show.
Yep.
The thing that stands out to me, I feel like the most for Florida State this season is they're giving up these rush yards. Like Georgia Tech ran all over them.
Yep.
And the same thing just happened with Boston College.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think as a Florida State fan? I mean, what are you thinking?
I'm
now?
perplexed. Add that to the vocabulary. This defensive line was advertised. It wasn't even advertised. I know how good this defensive line could be. It was supposed to be one of the best in the country. And this defensive line and this linebacking core, they can't stop the run. Running backs are their kryptonite. Against Boston College, the wheel route killed us. They ran the wheel route all the time. Like, they were running the same play every time they would pass the ball. Trayshawn Ward, former Seminole, would always be open on that wheel route. But all teams have to do to beat us right now is run the ball up the middle. Inside zone, inside zone. They're spamming it, and we can't stop it. Our interior defensive line it's just not strong enough to stop these offensive lines. Granted, it was Bill O'Brien and Brent Keys. Those are two offensive line like gurus. So I knew Boston College and Georgia Tech were going to be solid offensive lines, but to be frank, I thought our defensive line was better, and they have proved to not be.
Now,
whatsoever.
I'll say one thing that shocked me was seeing the stat after they lost to Boston College. This is the second time Florida State has been ranked preseason top 10, and they've been on it once back in 2017. Really, like they said on the broadcast, I remember it, you don't want to ever enter that list again. That is not a good piece of history for your program, and that is the second time, and it's sad. It's sad for that.
Yeah,
and
it is.
DJ, you should not be playing.
No, DJ, you should not be playing. Would be a great jersey right now. But, yeah, it's tough to see with all the hype around this team. But that was the year – 2017 was the year Jimbo just left us out.
I know.
We got a guy that's inked – he signed that contract. He's got 8 more years with us. He wants to be at Florida State. And Mike Norvell is known for his responses. That's the big thing. That's how he's built this program is how will you respond. That's his number one question. So I'm excited to see how is he going to respond to this 0-2 start.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll just kind of have to wait and see. And heck, are you going to start Brock Glenn, sooner or later? So
That's what the fans want.
Yeah. All right. So that was Triple Play, first ever Triple Play. We will be right back, but we are going to take a song break. This is Jackson Schrader, and you're listening to Triple Threat, now live on Wolf Sports Network, Fridays from 11 to 12.
Because this isn't
not
the
the
end.
that's not the end at all.
It's just the beginning.
And this is just the beginning of Triple Threat, taking it live on the airways. So get ready to hear our takes
Pimento cheese sucks.
and debates and much more.
In college, what made Johnny Manziel so electrifying, how he got those big plays, was he would snap the ball, wait for the play to break down, and then make the play.
So catch us live on Fridays at 11, only on Wolf Sports Network.
It's time. To snake your case. All right, we are back from that song break, and we have a new segment that I don't think we've ever been this excited for a new segment.
Oh, I'm stoked.
So this segment is called Snake Your Case. It is a snake draft. Now the topic, we've been giving some hints with our promos, It's going to be sports movies. Now, whether you interpret that as the best or your favorite, we're going to do
That's up
sports
to you.
movies. Now, to give a little context as to what a snake draft is, we are about to decide the order, and basically, whoever goes first, they'll pick the movie. Whoever goes second picks a movie. And then the third person will pick 2. It'll go back to the guy in the middle. The guy who went first will pick 2, and so on until we each pick 4 movies. So we have a random wheel generator here getting ready to pick these movies.
Yay.
So this is for the first pick, correct?
This is for dibs on what you want. So you can choose which pick.
Oh,
You can
okay,
choose which
okay.
pick.
I
So,
like that.
First pick will be, drum roll, takes longer than I thought it would. John, you have priority.
Give me a second pick.
John wants second pick. That's a questionable decision right there.
Whoa.
All
Okay.
right.
Hey, I'm fine with that. I can get either the first or the third. I'm fine with that.
And I believe that will be me. I'm going to take the third pick.
Oh.
Jason, I will leave you with pick number 1.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know who I would want to take number 1.
Who is it?
Gotta hear it now.
Oh man, is there like a time? Do we have like a timer? Man, there's just so many routes we can go. I think I'm gonna get some diversity. I think I gotta get a lockdown guy here. I gotta play it safe. Okay, this is a safe first pick. Not very nostalgic, but I'm gonna go with Rocky.
Rocky.
I'm gonna go with Rocky.
That's a good pick. That's a good
Okay.
pick.
Okay,
He's-
okay.
I got to.
All right, so I have a plethora of movies here, and you're probably looking right at my screen right now. I don't know what
I'm
you're
not, I
doing.
promise. I'm not staring directly. I can't read it.
Nah,
Font's
but
too small.
anyways, I think with just my first pick here, I think I'm just gonna stick with Moneyball on this one.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, here we go. This is the one I wanted. Give me Happy Gilmore.
I knew this was gonna happen.
Give
I
me
knew
Happy
this was.
Gilmore.
Bro, triple threat legend right there.
Dude, Happy
Triple threat
Gilmore.
legend.
Happy Gilmore is goated. And then for my second pick, I'm gonna go Sandlot.
Ah, I like that.
I'm gonna go Happy Gilmore and the Sandlot right there. I think that's a good first 2 picks. So John, give us your second.
I think I'm gonna switch it up here with the sport at least. I'm gonna go with Remember the Titans.
Remember the
Man.
Titans. That's a classic.
Dude, that is
a
I
classic.
love that, man.
One of the best football movies
we
ever.
Are the Titans.
Okay. All right, this draft's going great. Okay. I mean, y'all have gone with some great ones. Moneyball's off the
You
board.
got 5,
Okay. Whoa.
4.
Hey, quit that.
3, 2.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
I love
That's
some
an
baseball
awesome
stuff.
movie.
Yeah, Field of Dreams. Let's
You get
go with
another
it.
one. You get 2
Oh,
picks.
I do. Let's go. Let's do. I got my draft board here.
Yep,
So
yep.
fantastic. Let's go with Okay, I like it. Let's go with some Space Jam.
Space
Oh.
Jam.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's very good. All right, so we're kicking it, I think, back to me.
It's back to
I'm
you,
gonna throw a
John.
little wrench in this. For y'all that listen to a podcast, I mentioned I'm a huge racing fan.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of racing movies out there. Heck, I got a couple on here, but I think I'm gonna go with Ford versus Ferrari as
Ford versus
my third
Ferrari.
one.
I'm a cars guy myself, but Ford versus Ferrari's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, for my third and fourth picks, I'm happy, man. I'm going to get all the ones I want. My third pick is probably one of the greatest sequels of all time. Give me Rocky 2. I was pretty hyped that you took Rocky. I love Rocky 2.
Really?
Now my fourth pick. Jason watched me go absolutely nuts when I remembered about this movie, but I didn't tell him which movie it was.
Oh no.
Real ones know just how good this movie is.
Oh no.
Give me Cool Runnings, the Jamaican bobsled team.
What?
Yes, sir. Cool Runnings is an instant classic. If you have never watched that movie, go on Disney Plus right now and learn about that Jamaican bobsled
Well,
team.
it looks like I know what I'm doing tonight. And now I think for my final pick, I got so many here.
There's so many great value picks
There's
on the
so
board. It's
many
insane.
out of my 18 on the list. Oh man. What we got here? What about Dodgeball, a true underdog story? We'll go that with the
Dodgeball?
fourth pick.
All
man.
There were
right.
so many better picks on the board.
What
Oh
are
my
you talking?
God.
Dude, that's an awesome
That is a
movie.
terrible pick.
What?
That
You
is
can dodge a wrench. You
that
can
is
dodge a ball.
That is a terrible pick with how much we still have on the board. I mean, I have so many options. I don't even know what. There's going to be so many honorable mentions.
Oh
it's
yeah,
going to be insane.
the honorable mentions are
because,
gonna go wild.
because there's one movie on this list right here. I thought I was going to take third, and I was risky doing what I did a second ago, but it's still on the board. Holy cow! I'm going to go with a classic. A classic,
Oh, I think I know
especially in the Barker household. All my Barker people, they know what I'm picking right here, right now. It is Talladega Nights, baby.
That's awesome.
Let's go.
That is a good pick. I'll give you that one.
Two
I'll give you
racing
that
movies
one.
made it in. I'm happy.
That is a real good racing movie too. All right, so
All right, that wraps up the draft. I've been writing down everybody's
Yes,
list.
he's
So
been the scorekeeper.
I've been the scorekeeper. So y'all be the judges out there. Tell us who won. John, who was your last pick again?
Dodgeball.
Oh,
true
yeah,
underdog
terrible
story.
pick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you think.
dude, Jason, you might have won it with that last pick right there. I think you might have won it with that last pick.
You know who was gonna be? Who I thought was gonna be my fourth pick? It was gonna be Snowbuds.
Oh my goodness, bro! You're bringing the buds into this.
Dude, Snowbuds
buddy.
because,
Airbuds. Hey,
because
buddy.
dog
Airbuds is a
sledding.
W.
Because dog sledding, that's a sport, baby.
It is
Oh,
a
it
sport.
is.
Dude, that pick would have gone insane. But Snowbuds, legend. I love that movie. All right, so we'll start with. Well, I guess we can start with me since I had the first pick. Rocky, Field of Dreams, Space Jam, and Talladega Nights. Okay, John got Moneyball. What did I write down?
It's Moneyball. Remember the Titans. Ford
Oh,
vs.
I
Ferrari,
wrote
and
down
Dodgeball. True
RTT. There was not enough space there.
And
Moneyball.
Dodgeball.
Yeah, there you go. Moneyball. Remember the Titans. Ford versus Ferrari and Dodgeball. Which credit, I do enjoy that movie. It's a funny movie.
Dodgeball is
I love it. But like, it wasn't
Talladega Nights is better.
worthy of a top 12 pick.
Yeah.
And then Jackson, he had a great draft here, I'd say. Although I really have no idea about Cool Running.
Dude, Cool
But,
Runnings is one of
I'm
the
a-
best movies ever. I
He's
love
got
that movie.
Happy Gilmore, Sandlot, love that pick. Rocky 2 and Cool Runnings.
Yeah, I will
So-
die on the Cool Runnings hill. That movie is amazing.
Really?
It is. I watched it on one of my flights back from Florida this summer.
Hey, nice.
Everybody was watching all these new fancy schmancy movies on the little TV screens on the back of the plane seats, but no, I sat there and watched Cool Runnings because I like true cinema.
Well,
like
there
running.
you go.
True cinema.
So what are some of y'all's honorable mentions? I mean, I have a list. There's so many
Yeah,
great
I got
sports
one off
movies.
the bat.
Oh my
I
goodness.
forgot about this movie, $1 Million Arm.
That is a great movie.
I forgot
love
about
that
that.
Million
movie
Arm's a really
with
good
all of
movie.
my heart. Oh my goodness, that's a great movie. What a great. Oh man, that's a good one. I love
Yeah.
baseball movies. Speaking of baseball movies, 42. 42 is a
Yep,
good one
that's a good-
to
yeah,
throw in there.
42 is a
Um,
really good one.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, based on true story. I love movies based off a true story anyway. So 42, baseball, sports, based off true story, cinema.
Yeah. See, y'all like. I'm seeing y'all like those sports dramas like besides Talladega Nights, but you like those really serious ones that tell good stories. My next honorable mention, y'all like surfing.
Oh,
Surfs up. Surfs up, buddy.
dude.
Oh,
Give me
Soul
them
Surfer?
penguins,
Oh, I
bro.
guess that's a drama.
I'm Cody,
Soul
man.
I guess
Surfer.
it
But
kind
it's
of is
also
a
a true
drama.
story. There you go.
Yeah.
That's playing into my
Yeah, exactly. See,
my true story.
Surfs
Soul
Up.
Surfer.
Surfs
Yeah.
up for sure.
Oh, Lilo and Stitch, the movie. That's a sport movie. They
It
do
could be. It
surfing.
could be.
JB, who you got your honorable mention, man?
I mean, I already shouted out Snowbuds. 42. Karate Kid. Karate. That's a sport.
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid's a good one.
Karate Kid. That's
I-
a good one. Blind Side.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
That's a very good
that's
movie.
another one of those true stories. I mean,
Yeah.
Blind Side. I think those are some of the best.
Yeah.
Like, like they tell the story because like every single one of the people that we see in the fields Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, I mean, those people all have unique stories, backstories. I mean, it's insane. So, I mean, it's cool.
I got one more before we start diving into it. The whole Cars franchise.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
can't forget about the Cars
I was
franchise.
waiting for that.
We can't forget about that, man. That's part of our childhood as well. And I,
Yeah.
personally love that. I've watched Cars like over a bajillion times. So now, Schrader,
Yep.
what was your number one again?
My number one was
It was Happy Gilmore.
Oh,
Happy
yeah,
Gilmore.
it was Happy
I mean,
Gilmore.
What, like other than like it being a great movie, was it partly because we've mentioned it before in Triple Threat, or what else goes into that?
First of all, I know it is one of Jason's, if not Jason's, favorite movie, so I had to make sure he didn't get it. Second of all, I love Adam Sandler movies, and Happy Gilmore is my second favorite. Adam Sandler movie of all time. Like I love the Sandlerverse. It's
Sandlerverse.
it's peak cinematic performance right there. And I love Happy Gilmore. I mean, it makes golf just truly enjoyable. Not that it isn't, but golf ain't boring when Happy Gilmore's up there, dude. Let me tell you that.
Plus, they're making a second one.
They are.
Yeah,
Production
that's
has
coming out.
begun, dude.
For sure. Speaking of Adam Sandler sports movies, The Longest Yard was not taken in our draft.
That was in my list.
I feel like The Longest Yard is a worthy top 12. I mean, probably.
Yeah.
That's somewhere
That's
in
a
there.
good movie.
I mean, there's so many sports movies out there. Like when we really started doing our quote-unquote research, like
The greatest research ever.
yeah, I know. I think it's funny because if you look
I had
at
so much fun.
if you look at both of their lists, they have very extensive lists. I think John, you have 18
Yeah, 18
picks.
18.
Yeah, yeah, for a draft with 12 total movies.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many Jason has.
I only have 15.
You only have 15. Well, I'm sitting at 8.
Wow.
Yeah, all my picks. I don't even have any more like honorable mentions. I had to take Surfs Up like out of the dome.
I saw Surf's Up and I was like, Surf's Up, you could
yeah.
throw it in there.
Surfs Up's good, but man, if only y'all knew about Cool Runnings.
Bro, speaking of runnings, a running movie that I had in my honorable mention was McFarland USA.
That was dude.
McFarland USA
that
is
was such a good movie.
Oh my goodness, that is an
McFarland USA was
amazing
an
movie.
amazing movie.
I remember the first time I watched it. It was at my middle school. It was in a it was FBLA. It was an FBLA club. We just watched McFarland USA.
Yeah.
And like
Makes you
I
wanna
was like
run.
blown away. And then
Yeah.
I just sat down. I watched it with my sister and my mom recently, and they were like, "This is a great movie."
I know.
It's a great. I mean, like. How do you make a movie about people running and it just be enjoyable? I mean, it's great. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Another one of those true stories. I mean, come on now.
And let me give one more honorable mention. Another Sandlerverse movie, The Waterboy.
Oh, we haven't even mentioned The Water.
We haven't mentioned The Waterboy.
Once
It
again,
is-
it's on
it
my
is-
it's on my list.
It's on my list too. Yes.
Yeah, The Waterboy is an amazing movie for sure.
The Waterboy is like one of those quotable movies, you know.
Really is. My boy ain't playing no
like
foosball.
Mama, yeah.
But so the
My mama said football was the devil. Foosball was the devil. I'm gonna mess with your medulla oblongata.
Dude, I'll say it's very tempting not to put like all racing movies on this because
Yeah, you're a racing guy though.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
that's the reason why I put Ford versus Ferrari on there because it's a huge historical movie when Ford decided to go overseas to compete with Ferrari in Le Mans because they originally were going to buy Ferrari and they got snubbed basically by Fiat. That tiny little car, Fiat, snubbed Ford, and they made
Wild.
fun of them. And basically, they put together some of the greatest racing history ever. I mean, Ken Miles, a man they did not even want to put in the car for what he was, proved it wrong at Daytona, and just, you know, he just proved it wrong, and they won. Well, technically, he did not win Le Mans. He should have won. Unfortunately, rest in peace, as he passed away testing the Ford J Block. And but still, a man who set Ford history to take him overseas and to make the car so great. Seriously, that's why I got it in there. I think it's awesome.
John is the only one that can geek out about
Yeah,
cars.
really.
Absolutely.
I like cars because the cars go.
We just recently got the opportunity to work at Talladega.
Yeah.
I went
did,
with
yeah.
the group with the Sports Out of Pocket people. That was a
Loud.
No, I mean that was an adventure. I mean, I think we got Jackson Voles. I'll shout out to Jackson Voles running the
Yep.
TriCaster for us today. We are our Friday show. I don't know if we've ever had a show on Friday, so
Yeah.
I really appreciate all the boys that are back there behind us supporting
We
us.
got quite the crew.
Jackson Schrader down there. I mean, not Jackson Schrader.
Yep,
Jackson
I'm right
Voles
here.
doing the TriCaster for us. And all these wits that showed out. I mean, it's been great. Wolf Sports Network is a wonderful place to be. We appreciate everybody who's tuning in. On the radio station. Again, hey, we're a radio station first. If you're on here on YouTube, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for being here. We are a radio station first. www.wolfsportsnetwork.com.
All right, and with that, let's take another song break. When we come back, we'll be talking about this weekend in sports.
This is John Halley, and you're listening to Triple Threat, only on Wolf Sports Network.
There's multiple things you can do to live a good life. You can hang out with friends. Hey! Go to the beach. Eat some good food.
But you know what you can do to live the best life?
What?
You can tune in to Sports Pack Mondays and Thursdays from 6 to 7 p.m. on Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here, now in Odyssey Station.
This weekend in sports. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have another new segment that we are absolutely jazzed to bring y'all. If you heard that, Stager, it's amazing. But we're going to be talking about this weekend in sports. Given that our show is on Friday, and a lot happens in the sports world during the weekend, we want to take a deep dive in what already happened and what's going to happen. So first up on the board, we had a pretty big NFL game last night. Thursday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills traveled down to Miami to take on the Dolphins in what was a surprising blowout. So I'm going to kick it to you, John. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's surprising. I feel bad for Tua at the end of the day because, like we were talking about before the show, with all these concussions, very, very concerning at the end of the day. But it showed me that the Bills can definitely ball right now, and also the fact that you need to throw the ball more to Dalton Kincaid. But still. But, yeah, and James Cook put on a show last night. Really, the run game was strong, and the defense really just ended up just getting all of Tua's bad balls before he went out in the game. So, yeah, the Bills they said, "Hi, John, you don't matter."
Yeah, so the Dalton Kincaid comment, how much of that has to do with fantasy implications?
1,000%.
Well, what I'm about to say is about to have 1,000% fantasy football implications as well.
Me too.
Mr. James Cook, Georgia boy, Georgia pride, running in for 3 touchdowns. I have gotten so much flank, particularly by Jackson Voles. It's his favorite thing to talk about, how I traded away Saquon Barkley in our fantasy football draft. But he had his 3-touchdown game, okay, very impressive, good for him, okay, against Green Bay, fantastic. I have a running back going against Green Bay this week, and I just got my 3-touchdown game against James Cook. I personally love that Thursday Night Football game. Again, a little bit of a more somber point going back to Tua. Really, like, prayers up for Tua. He had multiple concussions at Alabama. Tua crushed my heart in Alabama, by the way.
Yes. Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
I will not ever forget that. But Tua, another concussion here. Nobody really knows what the implications of all this are, but and they're not even rolling them out next week. Are they rolling them out?
No, they better rule them out.
I hope they do.
Right. I don't think they have, though. So we're just gonna have to see. And it was a great game. It was entertaining. It was a blowout. But it was fun at the end of the day.
Yeah, I had the Bills winning, but I thought that it was going to be a lot closer of a game. I thought Tua was a little better than what he showed us yesterday, and I thought the Bills' secondary was not quite as good as what they showed us yesterday. They had Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on lockdown all night, and that really messed with Tua. But you got to look at this Bills offense. Coming into this season, there were a lot of questions of how is this offense going to produce without Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs, which have been like the top 2 pass catchers over the last 5 years. Maybe not 5 years, 4 or 5 years.
Something like that.
So I think Sean McDermott has done a beautiful job at saying, you know what we're going to do? We're going to run the football. And boy, did they run the football last night. James Cook, man, he went absolutely berserk. And this is a talented Dolphins defense.
Right.
They were my defense in fantasy. I'm not too happy about how last night went.
So we're all affected one way with fantasy right
dude,
now.
I had Keon Coleman as my flex. That killed me. He didn't even get a reception. I'm sitting at 0 points with one of my flexes. But yeah, this Bills offense, I think they're going to be as talented as they have been for the last 4 or 5 years, as long as Josh Allen has been quarterback. But I think it's going to be in a different way. I think Josh Allen is going to go from trying to make everything go through the passing game to more of a facilitator, which more of a Brock Purdy kind of guy, which a lot of people frown upon, which confuses me. Because if you say you're a game manager, but you're a winning game managing quarterback, that's the biggest compliment you can not only give to the quarterback, but also to the coaching staff, because that means they're doing it right. They're winning football games. So I'm really, really, really excited to see this new look Bills offense, because it's just so different. Now, to go into the concussion situation with Tua, this is something that not only the NFL, but Tua really needs to sit down and think about this, because this is a big problem. It seems like it's
career threatening.
It's not just career threatening. This is life implications.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, say he plays 5-10 more years of football, he's still got close to 50 years left of his life, hopefully. And these concussions can really significantly impact the rest of his life. I mean, CTE, obviously, we've seen what happened with Antonio Brown.
Clearly.
We really hope that Tua does not turn into that kind of guy. But, I mean, when Mike McDaniels was asked, like, you know, what do you see in Tua's future, he could barely put words to it. Like, it was really difficult for him to formulate a sentence, because we're all thinking, does Tua not only have high-level football, but, like, how much are these concussions going to impact him on and off the field? And in my opinion, I think Tua's got one more. If Tua gets one more concussion, if not now, I'm retiring. I don't think I can keep playing football, getting 4 concussions a season.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's averaging multiple concussions
Yeah.
a season. I mean, and you really, like, I was a guy that I like to follow on YouTube, actually, is Brian Suter. He does a really good job at breaking down the medical side of sports. Shout out to him. There you go. But he broke down to it, and he was basically saying, like, you know, some guys are out after 1 concussion in their career, and some guys, they take 6, 7, or 8. I mean, it just depends on the person. So, I mean, it does depend. I'm not trying to speculate anything.
Yeah.
I'm just wishing the best for Tua,
100%.
for sure.
All right.
Alabama?
On a better note, let's get to some college football. So this weekend, we have a very good slate of games, and we picked out 2 games that are very, very interesting. First off, Alabama is traveling way up north to go take on Wisconsin. How are y'all feeling? Jason, I'm going to kick it to you. How are you feeling about this Wisconsin-Bama game?
Yeah, so the over-under in this game is 50.5.
Yep.
I think I would be in the group of most people. I'm taking the under.
Yeah.
These offenses have looked very inconsistent. For the first 3.5 quarters against USF, Alabama, like, they were stuttering. I mean, for 2 years in a row. For 2 years in a row, USF gave Alabama a run for their money. Their offense just was so inconsistent. The same thing can be said. For Wisconsin, but both of their defenses, Wisconsin's defense and Alabama's defense, has looked spectacular. Alabama's defense is what's keeping them in these. I mean, he kept them in that ball game, but. I mean, for sure. Van Dyke, I can't let him off the leash. I can give Alabama all the flank I want. I know we have Brendan Willoughby Ray tuning in, so I'll give him. I'll spare them a little bit. But Van Dyke, he's like a check down king. I mean, he's like the Russell Wilson of college football right now, as far as air yards per completion. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the story of this game is just inconsistent offenses, good defenses going against each other, and I think it's going to be a very interesting game.
Well, I still think it's Bama on this game all day. I know it's going to be a very hard environment to play in, but the one thing I'm looking at in the stats is Tyler Van Dyke has 406 yards and only 1 touchdown on the year. And you're like, well, dang, that's really not too bad. They only played 2 games, but yet he's 38 for 63. But then you look over at their running back, and he has 35 carries, 134 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So what I see there is there's a lot of struggles with the passing game for Wisconsin, and not even their leading receiver has a touchdown. He only has 10 receptions and 108 yards. So obviously we saw it in the last 3 minutes what Bama can do against USF, and they really do something like that earlier on. It's Bama's game all day. They'll pick apart that defense. They have young weapons. Jalen Milroe moves around the pocket like crazy. So really, I think the Crimson Tide gets it done up north.
Yeah, I would say I'm going Bama. I think Bama's going to win this football game, but I'm not going to go Bama all day. I do not think it's going to be that kind of football game, simply because this is a game that Wisconsin, this is Luke Fickell's like, hey, you want to prove to us that you can coach this level of college football, that you can be a Power 5 coach and succeed. This is a game that they're looking at because, yes, the score of that USF-Alabama game was 42-16. Like you said, those first 3.5 quarters were not pretty whatsoever from Alabama. Their offense did not look that great in that game. And Wisconsin's offense don't look great either.
Nope.
But that's Big Ten offense. You know, mediocre at best offense with an amazing defense. I think this Wisconsin defense is really going to cause Alabama's offense some trouble in maybe the first 2.5 quarters of football. But I think Bama's going to pull away at the end, not to the extent that they did against USF, but I would give Bama like a 10-point win there, maybe like a 31-21 kind of win.
Nice.
But
That's for
definitely,
sure.
but you would definitely put them on upset watch.
I would put them on an upset watch.
Well, we're kind of rounding out here, so
Yep.
what I'm going to do, I know you have a lot of things
Yeah.
to say about Colorado and Colorado State, so that is the second game that we've chosen to talk about. Schrader, go ahead.
Dude.
Let us hear it.
Yeah, we got to talk about what that dumpster fire over in Colorado is right now. I mean, this Colorado football program, they're struggling. They are riding that struggle bus like no one else is right now. And it's not that fun to see because Deion Sanders, like we talk about the Deion effect all the time.
Right.
The Deion effect is real. Right now, the most expensive ticket in college football is this game.
Yeah.
It is this Colorado football game, and it's at Colorado State. It's not even in Boulder. But people want to watch the Buffaloes play. I don't know why. Because it is not good football. They didn't play great against North Dakota State. They obviously did not play great against Nebraska. They got their butts whooped against Nebraska. I'm going to go Colorado State here because this game's not in Boulder. Colorado struggles when they're not in Boulder. And Colorado this season has shown me that honestly they might be worse than last year. The offensive line is truly, it's disgusting. It's just not good. It's a terrible offensive line. They're playing in a harder conference this season. I just don't see Colorado winning this football game against Colorado State, and I don't see Colorado winning many more. With the way that they played against North Dakota State, Deion's play calling has not been good. The clock management has been terrible. The offensive line's the big problem, though. I mean, last season, Deion saying, when addressing the struggles of the offensive line, he said, we'll just go get new guys. That's not how an offensive line works.
No.
You don't just piece it together like that real quick and say, go block. You need it to be a unit. It should be one offensive line. It should be a hive mind, and that's just not what this Colorado offensive line is. I guess that'll be my little spiel for now.
Well, I didn't hear you talk very much about Shadir. Did you have some comments
Shadir
for him?
Sanders, he's talented. He's one of the
Very.
3 bright spots on this team. He's very talented. But his ego, man, it hurts this team, and I don't think he realizes it. He throws his teammates under the bus during press conferences. That's something you can't do as a quarterback.
Right.
If you're going to be a quarterback that wants to play one at the next level, but also for a successful team, no matter what, it's on me. You're the leader of that team. You call the shots on the field. You can't just carry yourself that way. Like, he knows, yeah, I'm the coach's son. Y'all can't do anything. I'm untouchable. That offensive line don't have to block. I could tell you that. But, yeah, I mean, he has all the talent in the world. It's just that mindset's just not successful, not good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and like, you know me, I love Coach Prime as a coach, but on the field it's been questionable, and it's not that, like, you know, Shador is a absolute baller. I mean, he has great stats and he throws it, but it's because, you know, they have to throw the ball. They don't run.
They don't run the ball at all.
Their running back has 52 yards on 14 carries. It's a little sad. But then you look at Colorado State, and they've kind of made this, like, they've marked this game on their calendar saying, hey, we're going to go win big on this game, and we're going to show you, like, hey, we're here, and we're a good team. We got some ballers, and really, I've picked Colorado the past 2 times, I've like picked against. I've gone back and forth, but really, it's questionable up there in Colorado and at that stadium and whatever the heck goes on in their offices. And I just think that, you know, you do have a guy like Travis Hunter who is a freak on the field.
He's insane. He's always on the field.
Yeah, that's true. He only missed like 4 snaps, I think, the last game. But really, I just think that Colorado State is just more complete, and they're just going to prove it to them. And really going back to the whole ticket price thing, the lowest ticket's $141. Like how?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
How? I don't understand that.
It's a pretty
That's kind
penny.
of crazy. I don't have any more comments to add after that. But I will just say Colorado has won the last 6 against the Rams, and the last time the Rams beat the Buffaloes at home was in 1955.
They're due.
So there you go.
Yeah,
they're
they're due.
So that's another one that we'll be intently looking after, and Colorado State.
All right.
Let's go.
Well, fellas, that does it.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
all we
I
got.
cannot believe we did it. I mean, again, thank you for everybody that
Yes,
showed up,
yes.
showed out. Shout out to the families that are tuning in right here for us, the Schrader family on Schrader's birthday.
Yes.
Thank you for lending us Jackson for the day. We will send them over to y'all to celebrate accordingly. Happy birthday again, buddy.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
buddy.
So yes, on behalf of Jason, John, and myself, thank you so much for tuning in to the debut episode of Triple Threat. See y'all later.
You are now listening to WSN, Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now an Odyssey station.